So, did Serena Williams stamp her feet, jump up and down in order to get Dominic Thiem thrown out of the press room? Of course she didn't. I mean, we'd have felt that. Okay, the first I heard about this was on Monday morning, a tweet from Ben Rothenberg, who writes for the New York Times. In a sort of victory for feminism, if you want to say, that 23-time slam champ Serena Williams got ATP number 4 Dominic Thiem's press conference already underway, booted out of the main Roland Garros interview room because she didn't want to wait for him to finish. He was not thrilled. So when Rothenberg posted that, there wasn't a lot of extra information knocking around. But as you'd expect, if you criticise or even hint at criticism of Serena Williams, all her superfans come out of the woodwork, some of them out of the gutter, social justice warriors, the lot come out and start defending her. But the funny thing was, a lot of them started defending her as if she had done that, as if she had demanded that he be dragged out of the press room, which just demonstrates how they will defend her regardless of what she does. That if she had done that, that was ridiculous. That would have been a ridiculous thing to do. And as extra information came out, it was obvious that that isn't what happened. Nothing like that. But they were still defending her as if she had done it. So I had a look around to try and get information and find out the most likely course of events. And Dominic Thiem was in his press conference. He had started answering questions. Serena came off court having lost in straight sets to Kenin, and she wanted to get out of there. Totally understandable. Totally understandable. She realised that he was in the main room, or that the main room was occupied, and said, well, I can use the second room, but it's got to be now. I'm not waiting. If I have to wait, I'm going. I won't do a press conference. So the organisers were left with a bit of a dilemma, that they knew it was obviously a massive story, that all the journalists on site would want to be there, and the second room wasn't big enough. And they've got Diva Serena saying, if I don't do it now, I'm going. So it was suggested by the organisers that they kick Dominic Thiem out. Now at that point there were reports that Serena had said, having heard that, well, that's rude. Now we'll come to that because I don't think she said that, but just for argument's sake, let's say she did, because a lot of her supporters are hanging on to the fact that she did make that comment. If she made that comment, she acknowledged that it was the wrong thing to do. So why couldn't she wait? I know she's saying she wants to go, but it would have been 10, 15 minutes max until Dominic Thiem had finished. They could get her in there, she could fulfill her obligation of doing a press conference, and she could go. Why did it have to be now? I mean, was she worried about missing a bus? I think they probably had a car for it. It's not like she had a match to prepare for. There were a few celebrities weighed in with their opinions. John McEnroe gave an interview to Eurosport that was reported on for the Metro by George Belshaw, that highbrow newspaper. McEnroe told Eurosport, this ridiculous incident has been blown out of all proportion. It also gives me an opportunity to show how easy it is to engineer fake news and manipulate people's opinions. Fact, Dominic Thiem was kicked out of the main press room in the middle of his media duties to make way for Serena Williams. Fact, Thiem was less than pleased about it. With these two facts, the social media public court was quick to deliver a verdict. How can she do that? Does she have no shame? Who does she think she is? It was not only the useful, hateful trolls who voiced their discontent. In fact, the mainstream media started to weigh in on it. See, there is something on the internet, and they immediately start to report on it and voice an opinion. Yes, an opinion. Whatever happened to the fundamental rule of journalism? 3 independent sources confirm the fact, and then, only then, can you report on it. But here's the problem. They didn't have all the facts straight. Little known fact, but true fact, Serena Williams had actually asked for a smaller room so that she could be done with it, but somehow the organisers insisted she hold the press conference in the main room where Thiem was at the time. A smaller room was available because that's where Thiem ended up. When Serena was made aware that they had to move the Austrian to make room for her, she was heard saying, "Whoa, that's rude." Yes, it was, according to McEnroe. See, this is not a tiny detail. It changes the whole fucking story. Serena's not a diva who can't wait 2 minutes. She's the victim of a screw-up by the organisation, and so is Thiem. I know a lot of journalists who should eat a good slice of humble pie after this one. He signed off his interview. As for me, I'm not a real journalist, so I don't have to check my facts. I can basically say what the hell I want. It's a shame he didn't check his facts, as most of them are somewhat dodgy, according to the author of this piece. Williams did ask to be put in the second largest conference room, which was occupied, but with the added sentiment that she would leave without doing her media duties if she wasn't able to start immediately. The claim she said, "Whoa, that's rude," is simply false. What she actually did, which has been verified by an audio recording, which I haven't been able to find, was tell a tournament official, "You are very rude," before threatening to cut a conference short. McEnroe is right to point out that organisers could perhaps have handled it better, but the truth is she put pressure on them to act. The only victim in this scenario is Dominic Thiem. The story also caught the interest of a programme that seems to be the American version of Loose Women that we have in the UK. Chaired by Whoopi Goldberg. Decide for yourself whether these are typical Serena fans or actual tennis fans. Take a look.
So this weekend, Serena Williams was sent home from the French Open after a surprising upset, as she wanted to get her press conference over as soon as possible and get out of there because she did not win. I would feel the same way.
Yeah.
So they ended the press conference of men's player Dominic Thiem early to accommodate her. But he wasn't happy, apparently, and said it shows that Serena has a bad personality. Listen, man. Don't nobody know who you are.
Yeah.
Whoopi, are you drunk?
You may be big in the tennis world, but this is a big deal that she was out this early. People want to know what's happening, how's she doing, and I don't actually think she wanted to talk to anybody about losing. Oh, yes, let's talk about my loss so early in the French Open. I don't think that was her plan. Don't blame her.
Yeah.
Stop being a bonehead. Don't blame her.
Also, listen, it wasn't her fault.
No.
She didn't ask for him to be moved. She said, put me in the little room, put me in a smaller room, let me just get over this.
Get this
Let me
over,
get
yeah.
this done with. And they decided to move him to let the queen come in, okay?
Yes.
Just have a little self-awareness here. Serena Williams is right now in a class by her own, and maybe one day you'll be the king of tennis. But right now, we don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Dominic Thiem is ranked 4 in the world behind Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer. Kid's doing okay.
And I was actually surprised that Roger Federer actually came out and also it was sort of defending Thiem's position and said, you know, this is unfair.
He should know better.
He should know better. Serena is the queen, and the queen lost.
I disagree with you guys on
What?
Wait, here comes Tara. Don't know who she is, but she obviously knows more about sport than the other 3 idiots.
I mean, I like Serena Williams. She's a phenomenal player, historic. But I also think how you lose says a lot about you. And I just don't think, this is not the first time where she's kind of been a little bit of a diva when she's lost.
But this has nothing to do with her.
I know, but if she was saying, like, I just want to get it over with, and, you know, because a lot of times, like in the NBA, you have to talk at a conference after,
Yes,
right? She had to do it.
Yeah.
I just kind of feel like the other guy, he won. He actually won his match, and so whoever made the decision, it wasn't a good look all the way around.
Right, but
I just
don't put it on Serena.
Well, I mean,
don't put it on Serena.
She could have said, well, wait a minute, we're going to interrupt this, or no, she knows who she is. She was like, well, I'm just going to do it and get it
Show
over
me
with.
a good loser, and I'll show you somebody that loses too much.
There are a lot of people who lose with grace.
Serena was at fault here, not as bad as Rothenberg was trying to make out in the tweet that kicked everything off. She's a strong enough character that if she believed in what was right and wrong, she would not have allowed the organisers to kick Dominic Thiem out for the sake of 10 minutes. Nadal would never have done that. And I'm not a huge Nadal fan, but he treats people, whoever they are, whether it's ball girls, the umpires, players, whoever, he treats them with respect at all times. The organisers got it wrong as well. Their hand was forced by her bullying them by saying, either I do it now or I'm not doing a press conference. And that's wrong, but they should have been stronger. They were weak. She's a big character, and maybe that the individual who made the decision was worried for his job. I don't know. Either way, it was just wrong. It was a bad situation. Dominic Thiem came out of it the worst of everyone. It's not life and death, but the bottom line is, let's just get back to what's right and wrong and stop all the bullshit. Thanks for watching.